o'clock. We stood outside the ship-in here.
10 o'clock on the night at the ship-in in Stonehaven.
Now, what do you like about this place, Mark?
What do I like about this place? I like most of all about this place the simple fact that me and my better half could come down to town 8 hours ago to go to the local shop and pick up a couple of messages. Since then, walking along the boardwalk, I said to her, I fancy a beer, love. And she said, yeah, I could kill a white wine. Since then, we've been from meeting our kin from Canada who came here to bury their mother-in-law. We spent a couple hours with them prior to their dinner meeting. Then we followed the sun from this position to that position. And the sun never left our back. Then we met Dave and Phoebe from Shropshire and we had a good laugh with them. And then we went up and had a couple of beers, and Laura and I were heading for the high street. And then we bumped into our man Jim, who I will now and never ever refer to anything other than the mad Hull Walker. Yeah, Hill Walker, Hull Walker, you get the drift.
Oh yeah.
That was 8 hours ago, and we're still here having the time of our lives. This time of the month, this time of the year, nowhere else in Scotland. I've had a ball. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Aich you var, all the very best.
Here I am. I don't even know what town it is. I'm in Stonehaven, and I've met all these lovely ladies. And you was telling me that this is a what?
A blackening.
And what does that mean?
She gets covered in shite.
We cover the bride in.
Oh, so you're the bride for tomorrow.
I mean, I don't know. No. Tomorrow's our hen night.
Tomorrow's a hen night.
Yeah.
Ah, right. So where's the lucky man then?
Barry,
He's at home. He's at home.
Who knows?
Is at home?
Yeah.
He's at home. This is all about me.
Well, so it should be. That's brilliant.
So yeah.
And you're all local ladies, and you live here.
So we're now taking her home to get showered and give her something to eat before the hen night tomorrow.
All right. Do you want any top tips?
Yes.
Go
on,
top
tips. How long have you been married?
70 years.
So what's the
No,
top
I'm only
tips?
joking.
What's the top tips?
Love.
Love. Expand on that. In its truest form.
After some tips.
No, it's love. It's like unconditional love.
Ah.
And if you can get unconditional love, you've done far better than me. So here I am in the ship inn, and I met these lovely people. And your name is?
Zala.
Bala.
And we are from Slovenia.
From Slovenia.
From
The correct one, not from Russia, but from Balkans.
I know Slovenia very well. I used to live in Bulgaria, and I used to travel from England to northern Italy and then across Croatia and then to Bulgaria. And so I spent some time in Slovenia. It's a very nice country you have. Yeah. So what are you doing here? You just come for a brief holiday?
We are road tripping.
Road tripping through the entire Scotland and the islands.
And you've got this hire car. Tell me about this hire car.
We hired an SUV, but they gave us a Mercedes. What?
ALS, limousine, without suspension.
Really?
Yeah. So.
I won't ask you to raise it. You can send me a photograph of it because
Okay. We'll send.
I think you're really travelling in style, aren't you? You know,
Yeah.
Is it economical? Is it economical with petrol and things?
Yeah, it's diesel.
Diesel. Wow.
I mean, it's not nature friendly, but it's economy friendly.
Well, you're going to Inverness. I hope I bump into you in Inverness. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, you
You're a lovely couple.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. afternoon. It's 1:30 p.m. on Saturday the 17th of August, and here I am just walking through a beautiful wood to the north of Montrose. I caught a bus this morning from Inverbervie, which is another 10 miles further north of here, down to Montrose, and as I got off the bus it absolutely chucked it down with rain for about 20 minutes. I thought, oh, this is going to be a bit awkward, and there's quite a strong wind got up, but things went a little bit wrong, well, during the night or this morning, I'm not sure which. I went through all my routine of making sure things were charged up, you know, all the batteries that needed, the cameras and the mobile and everything. I'm a bit disappointed to get up this morning to find that my mobile wasn't charging, and I tried 2 or 3 different leads, still wasn't charging. I was thinking, oh God, you know, there we go again. And I made a quick decision, having wasted probably a couple of hours really, because I was told by someone that there was a good mobile repair shop, pointed out where it was, said it opens at 9 o'clock, got there at 9 o'clock, closed on a Saturday, on a Sunday. So, quite surprised to know that I've walked about 45 miles from Dundee now. So I had a choice to go to Carphone Warehouse to get the job done, either in Dundee or Aberdeen. And Aberdeen's not that far away, about maybe 12-15 miles, so I drove up there. It took me ages to find Carphone Warehouse, and I gave the phone to the girl and said, I think there's a problem here, it's not charging. She tried 1 or 2 leads. Very scientific what she did after that. She got a paper clip, made it straight, poked around inside where the lead goes, and got some fluff and bits of all sorts of stuff out of it. Said, there we are mate, tried another lead and it worked. Well, yeah, you might say, well, you could have done that, Jim, you know what I mean, but I don't like tinkering about with them and putting a piece of metal into there. I don't seem to think it was quite such a good idea. She should maybe have turned it off first, but never mind. I've paid insurance and everything with Carphone Warehouse so that I can get my phone sort of changed easily if there's any major problems, and but I've not needed to do that. And of course the problem I got after that is that there was no charge on the phone, and so when I got to Montrose I went and bought a couple of new leads, chucked the other ones away because they might have been the root of the problem, and bought some new ones. It's about time I did really. And now I'm working off my power pack, which is charging the iPhone as I'm walking along, and it's working perfectly. So that's not another bad thing. I've just had 2 days off that I didn't really want. I mean, it's Saturday now. On Thursday morning I spent the whole morning editing, and it was a big long film, and it's not going to be anywhere near that today, to be honest. And I wanted to walk on Thursday afternoon, left it a little bit late. The weather was glorious, but there was still a risk of rain, and that rain certainly came when it did, and it rained all Thursday night. Absolutely heaved it down. In fact, the van was stood in 3 inches of water when I got a bit of a shock when I got out of the van to find I was sitting in a lake. So that put an end to any walking yesterday, not so much because, you know, of what was on the pavement, but how it would have been on the coast path. And it was bad enough the day before, on the Thursday, so I just had a rest. I felt like a rest. I had quite a lot of sleep. I answered hundreds of messages going back about a fortnight with various people. Some of you have got 3 or 4 messages from me thinking what's going on, but it's you know, when you fall behind, and unless you do get bad weather, that's the only chance I'm going to get to catch up with it, because on the good weather days I really need to be making progress, and I've just lost 2 days which I didn't want to, and so I'm going to try and make up for it now. Fortunately, the weather forecast is quite a lot better. As from Tuesday, we're expecting a day of rain on Monday, but after Tuesday it's bright suns for probably the next 10 to 14 days. So things are going fine. So what have I got to tell you? Well, I'd just like to say to a friend of mine, Wendy, who is the mother of a friend of mine, Carl, and he's CG, he goes under on YouTube, and one of the messages that I missed when I've been back replying to is from Carl saying, would you wish me mum a happy birthday please, Jim? She'd love it. So I can't do that like as if it is your birthday today, Wendy, so it's a belated happy birthday, and you're a lovely woman. And I know I've joked before about this. When we first met, I said to Carl, is this your wife? And it was his mum, which is, I'll never forget that. I've never been so embarrassed in my life, but she's got a great sense of humour, and so has Carl. And they bought me a 4-pack of beer as well, can't complain at that. The other thing I'm going to do, having listened and watched my friend Bry, who has his site called The Ramblings of Bry, and Bry said to me, well, wrote to me saying, maybe it's time to reconsider this business way, say, see you, Jimmy, because it's a little bit played out really, and he said, as you've discovered, Scottish people aren't like this at all. Well, certainly not on this coast, they're not, and I must admit, I haven't had anybody at all who's been in the slightest bit aggressive or anything like that, and so I'm going to change it. Now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to change it to. Now on, I'm going to say, Hootsman, there's a moose loose, boom this goose. It's 4:10 now, and it's been a bit of a, how do I describe it, a bitty kind of walk. 1 minute you're looking at cliffs, 1 minute you're on the beach, 1 minute, you know, it's not a settled kind of walk. And you're zigzagging all along here. There's never a long stretch to walk. It's interrupted so many times. But it's okay. The weather seems to have brightened itself up now. And I'm going to have to go on the A92 to do a bit of walking here, just for about a mile, I think. I don't see any path marks whatsoever here, so I'm just going to follow my instincts. It's 6 o'clock now, and I'm just stopping for my first cup of tea. About, I don't know, half a mile ago, I was walking through some knee-high grass and fell quite awkwardly and banged my head on a big stone. I don't know whether you can see it or not, or whether it's cut. But it shocked me quite a lot, really, and I hurt my leg a bit. But I'm alright, I've carried on. I'm now at the Anchor Inn at Johnshaven, and I reckon I've got about another hour and a half to go, and just another couple of villages. That's Gordon, I think it's a place called Gordon, and then to Inverbervie, which is where I've parked the van, which is roughly halfway between Melrose and Stonehaven, which I'll be doing tomorrow. I need to edit this film. I'll get stuck into it tonight and up early in the morning and try and get it done, and then it will leave me just a fairly straightforward, simple walk on a Sunday. That shouldn't be too much bother, assuming the buses run okay, and I'll need to check that one out. I haven't enjoyed this walk very much, to be honest with you. It's been a really strong wind all day, and even though it's not been in my face, it's really been hard work to actually film anything, and it wears you down in the end. Too much wind. But when I say I've enjoyed it, yeah, it's lovely. It is lovely scenery, there's no doubt about that, but I think because I was up so early and then having to drive to Aberdeen to get my phone sorted out, which took this girl about 10 seconds, I felt such a fool, really. I could have done that myself, but I don't like poking things into my phone, and so by the time I actually got on the road, it was gone 1 o'clock, and then I got a bit of a soak in later on, so it's been a bit of a tough walk, really, and I'll have a really good night's sleep tonight. I know I've been sleeping well over the last couple of days, and I've thoroughly enjoyed a break, if you understand what I mean, but I'd much rather have been walking and getting the job done. Still, never mind, it's been alright. I'll see you later.